Sister Joan? Sister Joan? I thought I saw her earlier. I see her there. I don't know. Joan, you need to unmute. Go ahead. We're not hearing you. Okay. Not sure what's happening there. Let's just open with a word of prayer. Lord, we just come to you to thank you for your goodness, for your faithfulness. We thank you for your presence. And Lord, as we share in this webinar this evening, we ask that you will be with us, that you will direct leading, and that Lord, you will give wisdom and direction to our presenter. We just ask that your name will be glorified this afternoon. For we pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay. As I said before, the life coaching ministry is in charge of this evening's presentation. And the philosophy that underpins this ministry is that God has a plan for our lives. We have a purpose. And so the life coaching ministry is committed to providing educational opportunities to raise our self-awareness, to address our self-growth. And we also to encourage a balanced and healthy lifestyle. The ministry also provides life coaching services. And for persons who wish to make concrete changes in specific areas of their lives, they can partner with me, a life coach, to do so. The coaching process fosters self-reflection, self-awareness, and a commitment to plan. And we also encourage persons to take the necessary steps to bring such a plan to fruition. I'm a certified life coach through organizations recognized by the International Coaching Federation. And in addition to be certified, be a certified life coach, I also specialize with persons living with attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder, ADHD. I've also completed the Calm and Connected course with PTS Academy, Parenting for Success Academy, which provides strategies for parents nurturing children and teens living with ADHD. So if you wish to use these services, if you want to contact us, I am going to ask Brother Gary to put on the screen the information, contact information for the life coaching ministry. So you can call the church at 929-6979 or 926-8272, or you can send an email at bethelifecoaching@gmail.com. Also, you can contact us with the World Wide Web as shown there. So let's move on to why we are here. So according to the Longman's online dictionary, to envision is to imagine. The noun vision is defined as a faculty or state of being able to see, which clearly is a progression from imagining, from dreaming to visualizing. Another meaning of vision is the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom. And here we are now moving from progression to not only thinking about or planning, but working towards taking some action to realize our future plans or our goals. Planning and taking actions are important elements of self-growth and self-actualization. In this way, we aim to fulfill God's plans for our lives as we are always becoming the best version of ourselves, as we seek to offer ourselves as faithful disciples to serve Him and others. In light of this evening's presentation becomes relevant. And the question is, how many times do we imagine what we would like to achieve? How do we move it from being a thought to something viable and tangible? How do we keep it? How do we follow through? How do we keep it central? And so in light of this, this evening, our presenter, Ms. Monique Morrison, will speak with us on the topic vision boarding, an intentional tool for goal realization. Let's learn a little bit about our sister Monique. Monique Morrison is an attorney at law with a Bachelor of Laws degree from the University of London. She also has a Master of Arts in English Literature from the Cleveland State University, as well as a Bachelor of Arts in Literatures in English from UWI-Mona. Monique is also a marketer and has worked as markets manager for Big Four accounting firm KPMG in Jamaica, managing the Jamaica and later the KPMG CARICOM team. Prior to that, she worked as a communicator and PR practitioner at the Shipping Association of Jamaica. While there, she participated in conference promotion for the Caribbean Shipping Association. Monique also has expertise in shipping policy and legislation, which was gained while serving as the Shipping Association of Jamaica's primary government liaison role. In particular, she also worked on submissions for Parliament on the 2015 Amendment and 2020 Customs Act. She also served on all 4 subcommittees of the government's Trade Facilitation Task Force. Monique was also Vice President of Women in Maritime Caribbean. She's a lecturer who taught and trained in the areas of critical thinking and business writing at the Florida International University, University of Technology, University College of the Caribbean, and the University of the West Indies. We who know Monique is aware that she's always seeking new knowledge, acquiring new skills, which she's always willing to share with others. Monique divides her spare time between family and friends, reading and writing and posting to social media. So we welcome you, Monique, as you share with us this evening on this topic.
Thank you very much for that kind introduction. Good evening, everyone. I encourage you to have an introduction that you are embarrassed to listen to every time I hear that introduction. I just wonder who you're talking about and what can I do to disappear until it's over. All right, everyone. Time to have some fun. Yes, I did say that correctly. Time to have some fun. We are going to do one of my favorite things, which is to experience a workshop together. I absolutely love workshops. We call them webinars now when we have all kinds of fancy names. And this time, what we are going to be doing is we are going to be focusing on ourselves, our goals, and how to get to them. Because each of our lives has purpose. And one of the things that we want to do is to live out our purpose. And that is what this tool does. It helps us to live out our purpose, our God-given purpose. So we're going to start with some science. We're going to talk about the reticular activating system. That is a group of neurons located in the brainstem that plays a key role in controlling stimulation and attention. So what I'm saying is that there is something in the brain that we are trying to get to. Screen, all right, it's advancing now. That reticular activating system filters incoming information and determines which stimuli are most important, sending signals to other parts of the brain to alert us to these stimuli and help us to focus on them. So you may have seen this workshop and you're wondering, what is that about? What, because there are some other belief systems that have jumped onto these ideas and done all kinds of things with them. But that is why we're starting with science, for me to show you that this is something real. This is something that was created as we were created wonderfully. And what I'm going to be teaching you about today or sharing with you today is something that will work with your physical brain. There's a strong connection between vision boarding and that reticular activating system. When you create a vision board, you are focusing your attention on specific goals and aspirations, which activates that system and helps to direct your attention towards achieving those goals. So the vision board helps you to achieve your goals. That's why we do the vision board. Why do we do the vision board? It helps us to achieve our goals. By regularly reviewing our vision board and focusing on the images and words it contains, you can help to keep your goals at the forefront of your mind and increase your motivation to work towards achieving them. This part is saying that we're going to look on it from time to time. We're going to review it. We may make some changes, or we may keep it, or we may achieve goals and take things off. But when we keep going back to it, what it does is that it increases our motivation to work towards them. So these are all things happening in the brain. Research has shown that vision boarding can be an effective tool for goal setting and achievement. That's where we're trying to get. For example, a study published in the Journal of Clinical Psychology found that individuals who created vision boards reported greater progress towards achieving their goals compared to those who did not use this technique. And I'm sure some of you are thinking of some goals that you want to meet in different areas of your life, and we're going to talk about that today. Another study published in the Journal of Social Psychology found that creating a vision board led to increased goal commitment and motivation. So the vision board helps to lead to increased goal commitment and motivation. And that word keeps coming up because, we have these ideas, some of them are dreams, some of them we're trying to turn them into goals, and we're trying to get the motivation to do the things that we really want to do, because we feel those are the things that we're called to do, and we feel that those are the things that are our purpose. So in concluding this part, we're saying that vision boarding and the reticular activating system in the brain are closely related. By creating a vision board and regularly focusing on it, you can activate that system in the brain and increase your motivation to work towards achieving your goals. Please interrupt at any time. There is no need to wait until the end. We're not going to observe that. I don't believe in that. If you have something to say, find a way to put your hand up or say something in the chat, or if nobody's paying attention to you, please blurt it out. No need to wait until the end. I see that there's 61 people here. This is very amazing. I'm so happy that you're all here, and I hope everybody can stick it out because we're going to have more fun as the evening progresses. I should have said that this part of it, my first talking part, is about 40 minutes. I'm going to set my time on now to about 47 minutes, and I'm going to ask at least one person, if they choose to do so, to also help me time. And if they see that I'm coming to 5 minutes to the end and I don't seem like I'm slowing down, whoever that person is, it doesn't matter. Just go ahead and let me know so that we can stay on track, because I need to leave you time to do the fun activity that I have planned for you. All right. Reflection, self-knowledge through reflection. Now, this part is very important, self-knowledge. I used to find this very scary. Self-knowledge, getting to know yourself, finding out what you are about. You spend more time with yourself than anyone else, but how well do you know yourself? Sometimes that confrontation can be uncomfortable because it means holding yourself accountable, admitting to weaknesses, and trying to further our personal development. And sometimes it seems easier to ignore anything potentially negative about ourselves. But no matter the tone of this, we will always discover good things about ourselves too, and strengths. For example, I find this presentation and all presentations that I do to be a bit ironic, because I can't sing, I can't run, I'm horrible at most sports. So I used to think that I didn't have any talent. And of course, I used to always put up my hand, speak, participate in things, but I didn't think that was a talent at all until I met other people. And I realized that some persons cannot, they hate giving presentations, that they're intimidated. And I realized that, oh, okay, well, that's a talent. That is something that I realized through self-reflection. I observe other persons and then looked at myself and then, you know, realized that you don't have to be a singer. You don't have to be a soloist. You don't have to be on a choir. You don't have to be Usain Bolt or Shelley, or even you don't have to play any sports at all. You don't have to be good at any of those things. But through self-reflection, you can find that you too possibly have a talent. Maybe everybody here knows what their talent is, but for a very long time, I thought I didn't have any talent. And to be honest, I was getting kind of comfortable saying, well, I don't have any talent, so be it. All right, so self-knowledge through reflection. At its heart, self-reflection is setting aside time to think deeply and evaluate your thoughts, your attitudes, your motivations, and your desires. It's examining your emotions and behaviors and then asking yourself, why do I feel and act this way? Taking the time to reflect on life might seem kind of overwhelming. We might think of introspection as something that naturally occurs when we're older, but the truth is anybody can do self-reflection. And everybody should. It can be as simple as looking back at your behavior in any scenario and asking yourself, why did I do that? Or for those who can remember the reference, did I do that? Self-knowledge through reflection. Self-reflection builds self-awareness, but only through intention and dedication. In our Sunday school class this morning, we're talking about being intentional. This means you must regularly press pause on your busy life and create time and space to sit peacefully, to sift through your thoughts and interactions, to scrutinize them without judgment or condemnation, if you can manage that, because that's not the point. The point is not to be mean to yourself, it's not to be harsh on yourself. And the reason I'm talking about all of this is that these are the things that help you to discover what your goals are. This is what helps you to discover your not only your goals, but what your purpose is and what you feel like you're called to do, and maybe even some things that you want to do. Why is it important? The power is to help to identify what's working well in your life and develop insight into what isn't and why. We're not going to talk a lot about actions and reactions, but if you think about the power of self-reflection like this, if you find that you are in a regular interaction with someone that you do not, that makes you uncomfortable. So let us say you have a negative reaction when you're dealing with someone, or they have a negative reaction when they are dealing with you, this is the kind of tool that can make you say, I wonder what is at the heart of that discomfort on either side. And sometimes you can solve the problem with introspection and self-reflection. Okay. Without the self-discovery that comes from introspection, you can become stuck in a routine that's neither productive nor inspiring. You may not understand why you're dissatisfied or what you can do to improve your circumstances if you don't know what you truly want. All right. Regularly taking part in the process of self-reflection can give you a fresh perspective. When you're in the moment, emotion can cloud your judgment, and it can make a bad situation seem worse. But self-reflection lets you evaluate your circumstances calmly and rationally to process what's happening and find a solution with greater clarity. So self-reflection can give you a fresh perspective. It can let you respond with intent. So instead of saying or doing something you regret, self-reflection allows you to consider the best and most effective course of action to deal with a troubling situation, like what I was giving an example of earlier. With the space to safeguard your feelings and the feelings of others, you can navigate difficult circumstances with intent rather than impulse. So you can do a bit of pre-planning. You can pre-pave, you can pre-plan, you can think out, okay, I have a negative interaction coming up. How do I get what I want out of the situation? And I'll give you an example. So I had a coworker long ago that was very negative toward me. Well, generally, she was miserable, very miserable, and miserable at all times. And I wondered, what could I do to change this relationship? Just because, she seemed unhappy, if you know what I mean. So I one day took a different tack. Hi, how are you? Let's say her name was Candy. It's not Candy. It's nothing near Candy. Hey, Candy, how you doing? And she said, oh, regular miserable answer. So I said, how is everything? She can't wait for the day to finish. She can't wait to go home to her son, Michael. Now that's his real name because I've never forgotten this interaction. Michael, she says he has, I think, Down syndrome or spina bifida, one of these conditions that makes him, he can't speak. She says all he can do is hug her and kiss her, and he's very loving and very sweet. And that is the joy of her day. So, ladies and gentlemen, every time I saw Candy, what would I talk about? Her son. Because it would just make her light up. She was just so happy. I always put her in a good mood. So I wanted to have a different relationship with her. So instead of just racing into the situation, I would think about, okay, how do I get a different response? How do I change what is happening between us with this lady? And I found a way. It was through talking about her son. It always brought her joy. And now, even though we have not worked together for many years, every time I see her, I remember about her son. I remember his name, and I always ask about him because it just brings so much joy to her. And I mean, of course, after that, the work relationship is great. Anything you need, any facilitation you need, you are going to be facilitated as much as she can within the bounds of her work because you've just put her in a good mood. Okay. Help understand yourself. This is a bit weird for me because I can't see you. I've taught online before, but I can't see you and nobody's saying or doing anything. So how about, let me ask you, do you have any questions? Any questions or any comments or anything you want to say, just so that I don't feel so lonely? And I want you to open your mic. And I'm not going to move on until you do.
So far, everything is clear to me.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And I think you have the right personality for this presentation.
Oh, all right. Okay, all right. So it sounds like we're connecting. That's what I want. So let's go because as with every other presentation, the audience is more important than the speaker. And I do have an activity plan for you today, and I want you to get value out of it. Thank you for your responses. Let's go. All right, so taking part in the process of self-reflection can help you understand yourself. Self-reflection grants insight into your authentic self. This is beaten up so many times by so many people, but go with me. It helps you to, it allows you to really grasp why you make certain choices and what makes you truly happy. When you identify your priorities, you can pursue them without doubt and confusion. Notice the use of words like choices and priorities. So this is not so woo-woo and so, you know, kind of out there. This is concrete. So we're looking at understanding ourselves to discover why we make choices, to look at what our priorities are, pursuing them without doubt and confusion. You can be confident that you know what you want and what is best for you. Understanding yourself does that. And to get the present, fourth. Improve your decision-making skills. When you know what makes you tick, you are better prepared to make the right decisions for your future. You have the clarity you need to pursue your dreams while giving you the flexibility to respond to changing circumstances. So there are so many times when we need to make a decision and we need to, I heard somebody say on Instagram, you know, there's a lot of advice on Instagram. You don't make the decision, you make the decision right. I think that's insane. That's insane. Some decisions are right. Some decisions are right. You don't make the decision right. Some decisions are wrong. You can't make them right. So this really resonates with me because that's what we're doing today. We're looking at our lives a little bit, and I hope we are doing that while we're doing that, because I'm doing it in the back of my mind while I'm talking to you and thinking about decisions for the future and having the clarity to pursue dreams while giving us the flexibility to respond to changing circumstances. Because while we are planning, we know that God is also having a much bigger plan. So sometimes we have to work our plan as we see him moving us. Actually, that's how we should always do it. It shouldn't be sometimes. Facilitate learning. If you don't take time to analyze a situation, particularly an uncomfortable one, you may find yourself drifting from one thing to the next without understanding or appreciating how you got there. You also risk making the same mistakes over and over again. So, quotation. This one is a good one, not a bad one. Where you're probably, okay, I can't remember the exact quotation, but it is basically saying that if you keep having the same problem, you are the common factor. So if every job you go to, you have problems with the people that you work with, you need to consider that the only thing truly common to all of those scenarios is you. Now, I'm not saying that the work world can't be tough, but you have to look at yourself and say, I'm not saying you're flawed, but are you choosing the right kinds of jobs? Maybe you're too friendly. You know, some people overshare a bit, or maybe your approach, maybe there's something that you need to look at. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying if you keep having the same problem over and over, you should look within, and there's nothing wrong with that. Look at yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. Matter of fact, you'll be learning and growing and trying not to make the same mistake again and again. Self-reflection lets you evaluate the path that led to your current circumstances, allowing you to think about the feelings, desires, and motivations that have guided you to this place. If something about your journey doesn't sit right, you know you need to change to avoid a misstep, turning a misstep, into a pattern. 6, foster a sense of well-being. Understanding your priorities and values helps you establish healthy boundaries that protect your mental health and build self-esteem. That is a lot to unpack. I will pull out priorities, very important. So do you make time to spend with important people in your life as a priority? I'm one of those persons, I have to do that, or I will just work 24/7 and ignore all the human beings on the planet because that's how I'm wired. Also, what are your values? Those are the things that determine what you do out there in the world or what you do everywhere. What are your values? So, for example, one of my values is I am good to people, not because they're good. I'm not good to people because they're good. I'm not good to people because I expect them to be good. I'm not good to people because, you know, they said Jamaicans say if you do good, good will follow you. It doesn't always follow you. It's a value of mine that to do the right thing. Doing the right thing is a value of mine, and I'm sure all of you are thinking about where it came from. Same place as you, same place where you have that value. It is our belief system. It's our upbringing in this belief system. It's our embracing of our belief system. Why I have that value. All right. When you have an intimate understanding of what inspires, upsets, and drives you, you can better prepare yourself for negative reactions and find positive motivators to spur you forward. If you notice, this presentation is talking a lot about the dark side, meaning the things that make you uncomfortable, because those are the things that stop us from being motivated. Those are the things that stand in our way. Those are the things that make us not go towards our goals, the discomforts in life. And what I'm saying is that if we do some regular self-reflection and introspection, it can help us eliminate, minimize, discover, deal with those things so that we can crush some goals. All right. And number 7, here are some ways to practice self-reflection. So you're going to set out slowly. You're not going to overwhelm yourself. You're not going to try and confront and, you know, you're not going to judge yourself. You're not going to condemn yourself. It's just about understanding and connecting with yourself slowly. It's yourself. You're with yourself every day. This is not a race. So you can incorporate it into your daily, weekly, and monthly routine, some simple steps. So when you go for a walk, that's a great time. I love doing that. When I'm going for a walk, I think about, you know, think about a problem. I think about like the parts of the problem, like is there anything in this that is my fault? Is there something here that's the other person's fault? What do I think I can fix? What part is just personality? What part is you know, I just think about all the parts of the problem. I introspect and then I make a strategy. Okay, what am I going to do about this particular problem? Sometimes the strategy is very simple. Dear God, your turn. Over to you. I am leaving this to you. I'm not even going to touch it. I'm not going to touch it. Over to you. I don't know what to do. Please get back to me with the answer or fix it or make it go away. So walking is one time that I do that, or driving sometimes. Anybody else? When do you introspect? When do you think about things like these? Anybody? Just jump in, just turn on your mic. I can't see any hands, so you have to turn on your mic.
When you're writing in your journal at night.
Well, that is a great, and you'll see it come up. That's a great thing to do. I don't journal, but I should. That's for that. Herona Thompson. Unmute, please.
Dorothy here, Monique. In the quiet time when I'm at home and nobody else is here, so I can think clearly.
Yes. That's a wonderful alone time. Thank you for that. Anybody else?
If I may also add, I also do some introspection after I've done Bible study.
Yes, good time. Yes. Very good time. I like to make connections at that time too. So after I've heard a sermon, after Sunday school, after Bible study, those times I like to connect the dots and see what have I gained from this and what am I taking away. Anybody else?
During quiet time when sitting in nature.
Oh, nice. Yes. Sounds luxurious. Thanks for that. Anybody else?
While picking fruits
Oh, wow.
from the property.
Luxurious.
Yes.
Very nice. I love that. Anybody else?
While walking through my garden and doing
Oh, my.
pottery in the garden.
I am just loving listening to these experiences. They sound divine. They sound so luxurious. They sound amazing. They sound amazing. Thanks for that. Anybody else? Can I take one more and then we move on? When is our
While ironing the
While
clothes.
ironing. All right.
Yes.
Thanks for that. Taking us back to some of the not so nice things, but things that we can. Yes, definitely. Definitely. Reminds me, I used to like ironing. It just not anymore. All right. So if you can take notes of these things because they're going to be useful to you. It's in the same train that we have been on the same train that we've been on. So number one, think, what do you want to know? So these are some tools to introspection. What do you want to know? So you take some time to decide what questions you want to ask yourself during your self-assessment to make the most of the session. You can identify where you can improve your understanding of yourself, what makes me happy, what happens this week. And this is funny. You might think these kinds of questions are, like sitting on a psychologist's couch. But honestly, just last week, I was saying to myself, okay, what am I going to do to make myself happy? Just something small. I just was starting to think of something small. What am I going to do today? Or, what can I do to make myself happy? Not that I was unhappy, but I just wanted a little happiness boost. And I thought about that. Sometimes you might find the answer is something like this. I don't think I'm as hydrated as I should be. I think I'll feel a lot better if I have some water. Something like that. Another question, what happened this week that made me feel good about myself? So that's a possible question to ask yourself. And you start by identifying whatever you'd like to discover, then use it to guide your self-reflection. And this is in particular, if you've never done self-reflection, you should. And if you only use some techniques, here are some others. So practice gratitude. I think I need to practice gratitude more. I think I do, but I don't think I'm like as far up the gratitude practitioner scale as I could be. So one technique is to sit back and review what you are thankful for. You itemize things that make you feel grateful. It's an excellent way to boost your mood and improve your outlook. You can start by listing things that made you happy during the day, and then you scale backward. You can look at the month. This is a good time to do that because we just concluded a month, and you can look at the year. Now, I understand that we invited persons who were, I'm sorry about that, invited persons who are starting a new school year. So you can look at what your highs were, what were your wins from the last school year. All right, so we are encouraged to meditate on God's word. It takes a little discipline, that's for sure. I take it in bite-size portions. So one little verse, take that verse, think about the verse, think about what it means. It's a great way to connect with your brain's inner workings. Focus on your breathing to clear your mind, to calm your mind. That doesn't work for me, but it works for some people. Take notes of the thoughts and things that come to you. And you can take literal notes if you wish. You may identify patterns or themes worth exploring, or such as lingering anxiety that you can't seem to shake. So last week, was it? This one is heavy. Last week, I was doing a bit of this, and what was coming up was generalized annoyance and anger. And I had to figure that out and where it was coming from and this and that. Long story, we'll talk about it another time. But sometimes when you stop the busyness and you slow down and you start looking at things, you can find things that maybe you've been suppressing or not thinking about or putting under the carpet, as we say. And when they come up, you get a chance to deal with them, which I did, and I'm good now. For anyone who's concerned. All right, set your goals. Here we are. Get specific and identify your goals. So if we have been doing this introspection, if we've been doing this introspection and getting into ourselves and saying, what am I about? Who am I? What are my goals? What are my values? What do I want to do? These can help us to set our goals, because sometimes when we don't do that, we set other people's goals for ourselves, or we set the people on TV's goals for ourselves, or we set the people on the internet's goals for ourselves, or we set our siblings' goals, or we set our parents' goals, or we set other people's goals for ourselves and not our goals. So, very important. What are your goals? What are my goals? Have you reached the milestones that will bring you closer to the desired outcome? So that's one of the things with goals. What do you need to do to get where you want to get? So we're going to talk about that a little bit some more. Are there any thought patterns holding you back? Very common question, very often overlooked. Thought patterns holding you back. For example, I can't do that. Sometimes the thought pattern, I can't do that. People like me don't do that, you know? I don't know anyone who has done that. Those are the kinds of thought patterns I'm talking about that can hold us back from doing the things that are really our goals, and maybe some goals that we've had for a very long time. Is there something that you need to learn to progress? I love this. I love this because it puts you on a path. It's one of the things I love about going to school. You hear how many times I've signed up for educational programs. It's because I love to learn new things. Absolutely love it. And it's one of those things that if you set the goal and you get into that program and you start studying, if you have a goal to stay in it until you're finished, you know that there is good at the end. Once you finish, you know you have a new designation. So it's one of those kinds of goals that I love. All right, so these questions are more fuel for your self-reflection journey. And of course, put it down. We heard about journaling just now. Putting things on paper. So this talks about putting them on paper or, keyboard or so. It allows you to process your feelings, reflect on past experiences from a safe emotional distance. You can compare how far you've come. So I'll tell you another experience. In 2018, I did a vision statement. So I want to be a blah, 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 blah. And it's so tiny. You would not believe how tiny it is. I wanted something that was so, in comparison to where I've come from, it is so, so small. I surpassed and blew that goal out of the water long ago. But the point is that I put it down and I kept it in mind and I said, this is what I really, really want. And I achieved it. And part of what helped me to achieve it was that clarifying process of writing it down and knowing that every time something came across my way that would lead me more and more towards that journey, I would say yes, because I knew what my goal was. I knew where I wanted to get. I knew what I wanted to achieve. And so I could identify the things that could help me to get there. That makes sense to you. Have a conversation with yourself, obviously. We need expert advice, so we've got to talk to ourselves. Hearing your thoughts out loud can generate insight. Notice this says out loud. I don't know how many of you advise yourself out loud. Can I get some of those emojis so you can do the clapping hands?
All the time. All the time.
So we have one person admitting. Anybody else willing to admit that you talk to yourself aloud? Anybody else? Let me see. Yes, I see a raised hand. Thank you, Novlin. Anybody else willing to admit this is a safe space? There's no judgment here. Anybody else? Talk to yourself aloud. Yes, thank you, Mrs. Giles. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. All right, so get out into nature. We heard some persons, Dita Allen also. Thank you for that. If you're having trouble getting into the frame of mind required for personal reflection, try getting out into nature. Spending time in the outdoors has a grounding effect. Putting you in the moment by removing distractions. Listen, I don't know what it is. They can call it anything they want. But The people who have traveled with me to the country can tell you that I am the person most likely to stop and take a picture. Just see a scene and go, oh my God, we have to stop here. Because I want to memorialize this beautiful nature in this moment and just have a moment with it and just get that soothing, wonderful feeling from that experience. So I will do that. And also set aside time. I'm very serious about the beach. Very, very serious. Persons can tell you, I will say, look, we've got to go, and I'm the one ready first and getting everybody ready and get there to say, come on, let's go. We're gonna go. We're gonna spend some time there. I'm very serious about it because I know what it does. I know what it does. It's amazing. It's very therapeutic to get out into nature because that helps to soothe the tired mind. Oh my goodness. It gets us reflective. It helps us with our stress. Good gracious. And that really helps us to have that mental space to do that reflection. All right. So whichever of these you prefer, these are the ones we just went through. You can do a screenshot. You can take a picture of the screen. You can, some of these, maybe you do it already. Maybe you put your goals on paper or put your thoughts on paper. Maybe you talk to yourself, whatever it is, but you can adopt others. You can adopt others if you wish. So grab your camera really quickly because I'm about to change the screen. So those are, that's the modern way of taking notes anyway, right? All right, now we grab that. All right, so now we are getting into the sweet spot of the vision boarding. And here are some ideas for your themes. So a travel vision board. I am always amazed at the fact that there are people who don't know lots of other parishes. And it's okay. It's just I happen to know a lot of parishes because I've been to a lot of parishes, and I make up my mind to go to more parishes and do things in those parishes. And notice I'm just talking about Jamaica. There are a lot of amazing experiences right here. So on your vision board, you can have a travel, you can do one specifically for travel if you want, real estate. This one is interesting. Was it the first time? Yes, the first time I did a workshop on this, somebody's real estate vision board was not that she wanted to buy a house or to buy another house. She wanted to go into real estate development. So that was what she was putting on her vision board. Of course, that had nothing to do with her job. It was just a dream of hers. And that is what the vision board is about. Thinking about, life is limited. The last 20 years passed so fast. The next 20 years is certainly going to pass just as fast. What are some things I would like to do that I think will help me to live out my purpose? A gratitude wall can be a part of it. It's one of the themes. A good habits vision board, a happiness vision board. No, these are individual themes that can be on one particular vision board. I'm going to show you what vision boards can look like. Or more commonly, what people do is a mix. So they have a little travel, they have a little real estate, they have a little career, they have a little good habits, they have a little happiness. Different things, and this is, of course, not exhaustive. That's just to give you an idea. So let's jog the brain now. I was talking about the fact that we need to jog the brain. Let's do some brain jogging. Where do I want to be in 10 years? A very powerful question to ask yourself. Where do I want to be in 10 years? What do I need to do now to get there? What do I need to do in 5 years to get there? What do I need to do now to get to my 5-year goal? I promise you, whether you do any of these things or not, 10 years is going to pass. Let me say that again. Whether you plan for and meet your goals or not, 10 years is going to pass. Therefore, you might as well make a try. So, where do you want to be in 10 years? And B doesn't necessarily mean place. Does it mean that you want to start something new? Does that mean you want to see a certain number of places? Does that mean you want to develop a ministry? Does that mean you want to get a new designation? Where do you want to be in 10 years? What do you need to do now to get there? Also, what do I need to do in 5 years to get there? Also, what do I need to do now to get to my 5-year goal? Those are some questions that help us. I have a puppy here who seems to be setting his goals as well. Goal setting and power of intention. When it comes to setting intentions, there are a few things you should keep in mind. Be clear about what you want. The more specific you can be, the better. So specificity. Second, focus on what you want to achieve, not on what you don't want. For example, if you're trying to lose weight, your intention could be to eat healthy foods and nourish your body. Third, make sure your intention is something you can control. Now, please don't judge me for this example. Just take the example for what it is. You can't control whether or not you win the lotto, but you can control whether or not you buy a ticket. I'm sure you get the point, although you might not ever buy the lotto. It just says make sure you can control. It's something you can control. Fourth, be realistic in your expectations. If your intention is to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks, you could be setting up yourself for disappointment. Could be. Modern medicine, I don't know, but I'm just saying, be realistic. Finally, be patient. Rome wasn't built in a day, or so they tell us, and neither are your intentions. So give yourself time to see results. Let me tell you, that was my mantra for law school. It's like it wouldn't finish. Oh my God. It's like it wouldn't finish. It's like it wouldn't finish. Okay, I'm going to finish by the time I'm this age. Okay, I'm going to finish by the time I'm this age. Okay, it must finish by this time. It wouldn't. It just felt like it wasn't ever going to finish. And then one day it was finished. And obviously it would finish, right? That maybe you understand. You're just like, that's so stupid. Of course it would finish. It felt like it wouldn't finish. It felt like there were just obstacles and things coming up and work getting in the way and all kinds of things, like I wouldn't ever finish. But let me tell you, the intention was definitely to finish. And although that may seem obvious to some of you, let me tell you, finishing the program I was doing is not and was not obvious because everybody doesn't finish. All right, so harnessing the power of intention and goal setting. Change is inevitable in life. It often brings both excitement and fear. Embracing change requires a shift in mindset and willingness to let go of habits and beliefs. By harnessing the power of intention and goal setting, we can navigate through change with purpose and clarity, ultimately leading to personal growth and transformation. I'm running out of time, so I'm going to move a bit fast because I need to get to your part. Setting intentions is a powerful way to guide our actions and focus our energy towards our desired outcome. Remember, we're talking about setting our intention. By clearly defining what we want to achieve or experience, do you hear that, or experience? We can create a roadmap for ourselves. For instance, if we intend to improve our physical health, who picked these examples? They're so judgy. If we intend to improve our physical health, we might set goals to exercise regularly, eat nutritious meals, and prioritize self-care. And I know sometimes these seem like they are not the most important thing, but they are very important because our physical health is not automatic. I heard somebody just called. I understand I have 5 minutes. Yes. Thank you. Thanks to whoever called. These intentions provide a sense of direction and motivate us to take consistent and purposeful actions. All right, here we go again with the weight loss things. Goal setting goes hand in hand with intention setting, as it provides a structured framework for turning intentions into reality. Do we see that? That's what we're trying to do here. How do we turn our goals into reality? How do we turn our intentions into reality? Goal setting helps us. Intention setting helps us. We're going to create an action plan, and the vision board helps us. The vision board helps us. It helps us to break our goals into actionable tasks and set deadlines and so on. So one of the things you can do with your vision board is, for example, you can say first quarter, I will do this. So that's what I do with my year. So I had some goals for first quarter. I had some goals for second quarter. I had some goals for third quarter. I have some goals for fourth quarter, and I keep reviewing them. Or what you can do, write down all your goals and then put where you want to do them. Now, luckily, nobody's grading it except you. So if you don't get something in the first quarter, you get it in the second. The point is movement towards the goals. The point is movement. The point is progress. The point is getting towards your goals. It's not to judge yourself. There is no examiner. You know, you won't get a 1, 2, or 3, or 4, whatever the number of grades are in CXC these days. You don't have to worry about that. It's you who will be doing the grading. All the phones are ringing. Visualize success and practice gratitude. Visualization is a powerful tool, and that's what we're going to do with our vision board. We are going to go back to it. We're going to keep going back to it. All right, so what we're going to do is that we're going to do the vision board and we're going to view it regularly. It doesn't make any sense that we create it tonight. Yes, that's what we're going to do now. And then not keep going back to it. You can learn from case studies and success stories. I love to do this. I love to research the topic. So when we're done here, if you're interested, you can keep reading up on the vision board, the goals, the goal setting, how to get to your goals. You can keep reading articles. You can keep going online. You can keep looking at it because you will learn more tips and tools and hacks to get where you want to get. Stay flexible and adapt. As I said, you can move your goals around. You can set new timelines. The point is movement forward. The point is action. The point is execution. All right, I know I have some athletes on the call too. All right, so start today and watch your intentions transform into tangible results. Here's something here that looks at harnessing the power of intention. Be specific and measurable. Break it down into smaller milestones if you want. So if I want to go to the UK, first and foremost, I have no UK visa. I need to figure out how to do that. I understand that's something you have to pay for. That's something I have to figure out. Where am I going to go? Who am I going to stay with? Am I going to stay in an Airbnb? Am I going to stay with family? The UK is a big place. What do I want to see when I go there? Because that would be a fun trip. What do I want to see? How do I get to see it? Is that something I need to pay for? So I need to break that down in an action plan and start saving. All right. Stay flexible and adapt. Learn from case studies. We said that. Visualize success and practice gratitude. All right, so this is a kind of
I'm sure I remember what her name is, but she went to Captain Address.
Hearing someone talking. Hearing somebody talking. All right, I'm not hearing them anymore. All right, so we're gonna define our goals. I'm gonna move fast, like I said, because we are running out of my time. This is where I want us to be. So our next step is for you to do an activity. Let me come back to most persons. Not gonna stop sharing. I hope you can still see it. I can see some persons now. What you're going to do is select some inspirational images. And what I mean is that you're going to go online right now while we are all sitting here and go to Google or whatever is your favorite search engine. You're going to do an image search and you're going to pick pictures that you like. You can add affirmational quotes, anything that you think will evoke your goals, and you can put some writing to it if you want. You're going to organize and arrange them. You can arrange them by theme, by color, anything that speaks to you. And as you put each element on your vision board, take a moment to visualize the success. And that's what you're going to do every time you use it. Yes, Herona Thompson.
Can you put it on slideshow mode, please? I can't see the screen.
Oh, you're
as
not
well.
seeing it? Oh, all right, no problem.
Yeah, it's on PowerPoint mode.
No problem. All right, so I was looking at these and I was saying here that this is what I want you to do now. Select your images. You're going to put some words to complement your images. You're going to organize, and you can organize them by theme if you want.
Monique,
yes.
Are we doing first coming up with some goal out of some self-reflection, or is this arranged around a goal, the organize and arrange?
So you can, if you wish. I'm going to show you. Okay, so let me show you something. Let me give you an idea. All right, select the images, select your app or platform, begin to create, and then we're going to share. Look at this. So this has a lot of different goals on it. And you see that there's a list there too. So what I want you to do is to start working on this evening. I'm going to give you some minutes to do that, to find some pictures and to put them together. Look at this one. Here's another one. This one is mostly words. Be productive, peace, put God first. My family is happy and healthy. I'm committed and focused. So this is another. So you see all of these. This one is a month vision board. This one is more of a life vision board. This is 2024. And so are you getting an idea? Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So it's up to you. So I like to do, so for us now, since we are in September, you can plan for the rest of the year, September, October, November, December. You can make some plans. What are some things you'd like to do by the end of the year? And that's not hard. You can go to, look at this one. You can go to the beach. You may not buy a new apartment, but you might look at some. You may not travel to that beautiful place there, but you might travel to the ones with the palm trees. This says independence. I think, well, forget that part, but you know what I mean. Wealth, you might not be wealthy, right away, but you might start thinking of ways that you might make a little extra. So you know what I mean? Some things that we can do by the end of the year. So this person says career growth. Career growth doesn't mean necessarily doing a new program, but what if you can do a certificate program, or you can do a 6-week course or something like that? Volunteer. We have many opportunities at church to volunteer. Fashion design, self-love, wellness. So I hope that this helps persons. Look at, here's another example. Now, what I want you to see too is that some of these are done in Canva. Fancy people using a fancy software. But some of these are done in PowerPoint. Please do not be intimidated. This one was done in Microsoft Word. They just took the pictures out of the internet, copy them, and paste them into Word. This is done on Word. I think everybody here can use Word. This is done in Word. This is done in PowerPoint. They just take the images and put, so don't be, it doesn't matter your level of capacity where these things are concerned. I'm going to stop sharing the screen because I want to give you a few minutes. Sister Georgia, how much time do we have? Okay, I've lost most of my light. Gonna get back some light. How much time do we have for participants to start working on a vision board?
We can go as far as maybe 7:15 is as long as I want it to last.
How many minutes is that?
We are at 6:45 now.
Right, so
that's half an hour the most.
Okay, so let us take 20 minutes. And so 20 minutes, do some work. I'm
15,
going to be here.
Make it 15, money. Make it
yeah,
15.
let's make it 15 minutes. And then a few people are going to share what they have. So I hope people have not run away. Wow, they have not. We now have 70 persons. Wow, that's amazing. All right, so let's get to work. Let's do some vision boarding. Just jump on the internet. Also on the internet, go in Google. Anybody need any help? Tell me what you need. The other persons who are okay, you can start.
Any question?
Yes, any questions? Yes. Those who are okay, please start. Those who are okay, please start. Those who are okay, please start.
I have a question, Monique.
Yes.
I was of the opinion that the vision board would be the second thing after
Yes.
you have decided what your goals and aspirations are. You are suggesting that you do the vision board first.
No, I'm suggesting that for our purposes this evening, you do both of them at the same time. So it was my intention that while we were going through that activity, you would have been reflecting on some of what you think your goals might be, and that you'd be toying with that now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I joined late, so I didn't.
Oh,
I
no,
didn't catch that.
that's fine. That's fine. So we have some ideas. It can be a theme if you want. So it can be travel, vacation, career, retirement, future, anything you want it to be. But think about goals that you have had and think about any image that you think would represent that. And you're going to put that on a vision board. Of course, nothing is written in stone, so you can change it after this evening. But what I want people to do is to start. I don't want to say vision boarding is something nice and then leave you. I want you to start working on your vision board. So if that is possible, I would love it.
Good evening, Mom.
Yes.
While we're doing this, can you possibly go back to where you wanted us to take a print screen? Unfortunately, I couldn't get it up in time. The steps, can you share that?
Yes, I will. I was giving you some tools that you could use.
It was one with think and
This is it, right?
Yes, thank you.
This is it. These are your tools, right? So these are some tools that you can use. All right, so I'm going to turn off my camera, but I'm definitely here. And I'm not going to mute my mic. Did you get it?
Yes, Mom, I did. Thank you.
Awesome.
Sorry, can
So we're
you
coming back
adjust
by
it?
7 o'clock.
Yes.
So we get it all on the screen? Sorry.
What was that?
Too large. I can't. I just see 4. Can you adjust it so okay. It's all right.
Say again. Could you ask that question again?
It's all right. It's off. So forget it. It's okay. Thanks.
Okay. All right. So I'm still here. If you have any questions, I'm still here. You can just ask your questions. I'm not leaving. If you need any assistance with anything, I'm still here. I see that we have 68 participants. This is not my intention to lose participants. I'd like you to try your vision board, even if you only get a few images. Any more questions? If you have any questions, just remember I'm here. I'm not gone anywhere. I'm still here with you. If you need any help, let me know. We've lost 4 participants so far. If you need assistance, let me know. You can use Word, you can use PowerPoint. You're just taking the images and putting them on a blank page. It does not have to be fancy. It does not have to be fussy. You can use words if you want. You can use quotations. Don't worry, I am not very good at art. I will not be judging you. We have 9 minutes left, just a few more minutes. I don't want to intimidate anyone, but is there anyone that is finished yet? With 7 minutes to go. I know some people finish fast.
Well, I just took a very small thing this evening.
Okay, that's fine. You can work on it, continue to work on it. It's a work in progress, and it will be a work in progress.
Mhm.
Monique, I have a question. This is Marcus here. Good evening,
Hey,
everyone.
Marcus.
Um, I gather from what you said earlier that the positioning or the placement of your vision board is very important.
Yes.
For somebody like me that is always on the go,
Yes.
is it recommended to have like digital versions that maybe you put on?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because what I'm going to say to you, and I'm so happy you asked because you opened the door to me saying that you're going to put it on your desktop, or you can have it on your phone as your lock screen, or you can have it as your screensaver there, or you can just save it somewhere on your computer and as a part of your regular planning process, continue to go back to it. So what you're making now is definitely an electronic vision board. I have no intention of you printing it. It's something that you'll just keep going back to, and you will keep adjusting, ticking off goals. And if you once you feel like you want to move on to another one, you can. So that was a great question. What do you think?
Sounds like a plan. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. 4 minutes. Hope everybody's busy. All right, we're at 64 participants. I'm getting nervous now. We just lost 6 persons. Madam Moderator, do you mind if I ask people to start sharing? Because I'm wondering if people have to go at 7 and I
Right,
don't.
right. Because the aim was for 7. So may I just start?
Yes. Do I need to do anything? You can share your screen, I think. So go ahead and show us what you have.
Well, I don't know if I know how to do that, honey.
Okay, if you move your cursor, there is a thing at the bottom, a green thing with an arrow going up that says share screen.
Actually,
okay, I'm gonna allow everybody to share their screen. I just did that. So you should be able to share. Wait, let me see.
So what you say I must do now? Go where?
Go to share. Go down to the bottom of the screen. Just move your cursor. Move your cursor and you will see share screen at the bottom.
Okay. Okay.
Right. You see it, that green thing?
Anything come up?
Not
Share.
yet. Right. All right. Okay. Yes. Okay. See? Yes.
Okay.
All right. Yes.
So,
all right.
For the last couple of months, I would say maybe from March, things have happened, lost close family and friends. And I really feel as if I'm no longer myself. And so just doing the self-reflection you asked us to do at the beginning, my question was, where's my mojo? So I found that there. And I found, doing the research, I found something that says, keep calm. I've lost my mojo.
Right.
So with that, what it is telling me is, although I'm aware and maybe a little frustrated with myself that I'm not being my usual me, it is already speaking to me as to what kind of frame of mind I should be in.
Yes.
That
you must make peace. Make peace with the process. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
even
then,
as you try to get back to yourself, make peace with where you are.
I couldn't get the image copied, but somehow it took me to gratitude images.
Oh, lovely.
And so with the gratitude image, one that came up was gratitude sweetens the smallest moments.
Indeed.
So for me already, if I'm looking between now and the end of the year in getting my mojo back, finding Nemo, finding Georgia again.
Yes.
This is gonna be along that line.
Right,
and in terms of what I will be doing is more and more looking at gratitude expressions, areas in which if I were to build on it, it would be areas in which I need to be showing more gratitude.
Yes, thank you for that. I love that. And I think that will be very helpful. I think it will be helpful to you. So, but don't say, if I were to continue, I want you to continue. I want you to continue and to put up those
Stop
gratitude images.
sharing now.
You do the same thing. Do the reverse of what you just did.
Okay.
This will stop screen sharing. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, next person, everybody can share. Go down to the bottom of your screen. You see a green thing. It says screen share. Please say if you're doing it so you don't have more than one person trying to do it at once. Anybody? We're at 7, so we're just going to take a few. Anybody? Jump in. Jump in. Who's next? Punchinella time. Who's next? I'm not going to call on anyone, so please volunteer. Although I can see all 65 persons here. Anyone, word and word.
I want to share, but I just need 2 more minutes.
All right, so you're after the next person. Who is next? Anyone?
Okay, trying to share.
Yes, please. Is it working? Is it working? Are you having a challenge? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I'm coming. Just give me a minute. Second.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. All right, get ready to share. Somebody's gonna share no, and then somebody else is gonna share. So get ready. We are at 7:02. We don't want to keep people too long. Okay, what's going on here?
Can you see me now?
Yes. Oh, that's what that does? I've been using Canva wrong. Oh my.
Can you see me?
I can see your screen. Would you like to say anything about it?
So there's a health goal,
Mm-hmm.
represented here by yoga. There are some personal and professional development goals, which I could break out a little bit more had I a little bit more time.
Mm-hmm.
I think I need to squeeze in some more recreation in my regular plan of things instead of just work, church, home, although that sounds like a lot of fun. And it is. There needs to be some time to something else, to read, to be. I feel so proud of myself. I'm on my 3rd book this summer.
It's very good.
3rd book in the last, I can't tell you how many years, but 3rd book this summer sounds even more exciting. So let's see that. That's why I found a book picture. Quality family time so that they don't get tucked into whatever is left, but that they become priority. And kind of just breathe, to just kind of survive. When you started, Cara said, Mom, what's your goal for the year? And I said, to be honest with you, to just get out alive, to just make it through this school year.
Oh my God.
I turned to my husband, who is also a teacher, and I said, Dad, what about you? And him said same thing, to just get out alive, So just to remember to breathe and to be and to survive.
That is always a challenge, truly, where a thing that I keep saying to myself is that I just don't want to survive anymore. I want to live. I want to live. And so that becomes a goal.
Yes.
To live. What is it that makes me alive? What is it that makes me breathe? And so that's something we need to maybe look at.
Thanks so much. Next person, come on in. Come on in. These are so amazing. I'm very proud of everyone who is trying today. This is, here we go again. Oh, I love this.
Okay, good day, everyone.
Good
evening. Okay, so this is a simpler version because I only had 15 minutes, but I want to be a homeowner. And so the first thing I'm going to do is take time to go to God and pray and fast and ask for direction and success.
Right.
Then my second is to research, go to the bank, speak to other homeowners, find out what their process was to ensure that I have a plan and to ensure that I have everything that I need. And then I'm going to save towards it after I've learned what it is that I am. What should I say that I'm worth and what I can and what I need to do and how much money I need. And then I will not just choose the first one. I will keep looking and ensure that it is within my budget and that I find the right one. And
I
that's
love
it.
this. I love this. See, this is an example of a themed one. So it is very specific. It's very themed, and you are going to be using the rest of the time this year to put some things in place so that you can start to move towards that goal in 2025. This is awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you. Anybody else? Let's try and take at least one more. I'm very excited, as you can tell. I told you it was going to be fun. I hope those who are putting them together are having fun too. Who is next? Who's next? Who's next? Anyone? Any volunteers? If you're gonna go next, just let me know by opening your mic and saying me, me, me. Nobody else?
I would
All
have
right.
loved to have gotten something from one of our persons going back to school in terms of what is it they're thinking, what is it they want, what goal they would like to set, maybe for the first term, for the first month,
Right.
as
Anybody?
the term begins.
Maybe they can articulate it even if they haven't come up with the presentation.
Right.
It's a suggestion. Because my little back to schooler over here is furiously working at her thing, but it won't be finished in your time span.
And I don't need to see them finished, you know. I just need to see what you have done in the time. You don't have to finish. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like I said, the CXC graders are not coming tonight. They are not. This is we're just reviewing coursework here. And none of these are meant to be final. It's meant for us to continue to work on them. I need to, when we're finished here, I'm going to have to go back. Mine is not in pictorial form because I'm not as fancy as you lovely people here. I have mine just in words, and I need to go back and look on all the goals that I still have lagging from second quarter and third quarter that have not been met, and come up with my strategy to say, okay, I need to put them back in front of my face. So I want us to emphasize that.
Can I
These
ask a
vision
question?
boards, yes, go ahead.
In terms of one of the things about vision boards is that we have to be constantly reviewing.
Yes.
Do you have any suggestion as to timelines as to when would be a good time?
You can do it at the end of every month. You can do it at the first of every month. I take a quarterly approach personally. So I do first quarter, second quarter, third quarter. If I am curious or I need a reminder or I need some motivation, I may go back at unfixed times to look at it. But I go back, I make it my duty to continue to go back to do quarterly reviews because I set goals and I want to achieve them. So I'll give you an easy one. So for my business, I wanted to join Chamber of Commerce. Seems like an easy one too, right? But I needed to call them, find out what the requirements are. And I kept saying, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And I met someone and she says, well, I am a director. If I recommend you, you have no problem, but just to do the, submit what they asked for. And I just did it right away. I did not put it off. I just did it. I said, you know what? It's a first quarter goal. I submitted. I sent them the funds, everything that was needed. And by the end of the week, I was receiving acceptance information from them. So you want to set a time. So I like quarterly, but that's because my goals are big. Like the one I just told you about, that was an easy one, but my goals are big. So I want you to think about what's good for you. Is it a monthly goal? If you're going back to school, is it a term goal? Is it a grades-based goal? When I work at companies, for example, I set goals like this. This tends to happen. I do all of the things that I'm hired to do, and then I get bored. I master them, and then I get bored. And then I say, okay, what other things do I want to do at this company that I think would be interesting? And I start to look at, okay, they're doing an ad, I want to be in the ad, or they're doing, this is coming on, or that is coming on, or I want to be involved with this, and I start to volunteer to be involved in things, or I start to take on more things, because that would make me happier and more stimulated and less bored. And then those become my goals. No, the volunteering part is in my control. The rest of it is not in my control, but I can volunteer within a specific time. So to answer your question, it's up to you, but you must stick to it. Monthly, quarterly. Some people do it annually, but it doesn't matter when you set them, you must go back to it. Put it on your phone, keep going to it. Put it on your computer, keep going to it. You have to go back. You have to assess yourself. And there's a lot of joy in even the smallest goal achievement. Anybody else? I was kind of holding
Laura
on.
is sharing hers, Monique, but you have to pin her so she pops up on the screen because she's using 2 different devices, so she can't share a screen. So if you could...
All right. Okay, let me see. I don't know if our tech ops are with us.
Be able to, Gary, you can pin Clara Joy.
Sure, one sec.
Thanks.
Right, thanks for that. You wanted to be here trying to see what I can do.
Right, so she's showing it.
Oh, okay. Oh, look at you. Very nice. Back to school goal. Oh, you want a chess trophy. And all right. Is everybody seeing this?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Right. All right. So you have your back to school goal just like you're doing PEP this year?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. So what I would recommend for you is for you to make some term goals. What do you want to achieve this term? Because PEP is early next term. So what do you want to achieve this term? And you can break it down by months, or if depending on how you are, if you want to break it down by weeks. So if you want to master topics in particular weeks, you can do that. And yeah, this is very good. And if you have any other goals, like any health goals or any, I know that you are a vacation lister. So if you want to add a vacation list to your 2024, 25, that would be good too. Thanks for this. Appreciate it.
All right, Gary, you can unpin things. Thanks.
All right, thanks so much for your kind attention. 62 persons, this is amazing. I could not have believed in my wildest dreams that there would have been so many persons here tonight. I am shocked. It's been a long time since I've taught such a big class. I hope you got some value out of the experience. I know I did. It went much better than I thought it would. And no matter how I always think it will go will go well, I should say. That's the correct English. No matter how I think something will go well, or a workshop will go well, it always goes better. Thank God. Glory be to God. Thank you all very much. I am going to turn off my video once more and turn over to the moderator and thank her for her kind invitation. And let's give her our attention as she closes out.
Thank you so much, Monique. I'm really, really grateful for the material and for the opportunity to practice. That makes it worthwhile. At this time, just a few things that came to me. I don't know if other persons want to say what they have maybe learned from this session. What I am thinking of is the importance of self-reflection to the process. Self-knowledge through self-reflection is always a good place to start to ask that why question. Why am I feeling the way I am feeling? Why is this happening? And then the whole matter of evaluating yourself without judgment, both the positive and the negative. The whole matter of self-reflection giving you clarity, give you the opportunity to begin to make some decisions, to pre-plan. What are you learning about from yourself, about yourself is very important. And that is on the way to our setting of goals, and then the goals will lead into our vision board. It was very good to see some examples of it. And for many of us, especially those of us who are visual learners, that visual is very important in order to get, as you rightly say, Monique, to begin to stir something in the brain. There's a link there that sets off our motivation. And the idea of having set our goals to do a vision statement and always to write it down, to talk to yourself. You gave us examples of types of vision boards, which was very useful. And the whole idea of it, the vision board can be something practical. It could be travel goals. I like all of that. And the power of intention and goal setting. And the visualization, that's the big thing that I'd want us to take away from it. Don't know if anybody wants to add anything to that in terms of what they have learned, what's their takeaway, if they want to say that quickly.
Really quickly, really quickly. I thought Marcus's point was very important in terms of actually putting the vision board somewhere that you can easily access it, or somewhere that you can see it and be constantly reminded. Because by the time I remembered about my 2024 goals, like first quarter finish, I'm gonna do none of the things. Well, I don't finish any of them. Second quarter was upon me with a lot of pressure. And yeah, no, we missed those goals too. But the year is not finished. All is not lost. So putting it somewhere that is kind of in your face, literally, to help remind you of the things, and perhaps clue in some persons as well to be a part of your support team that will help you be accountable, right, to some of those goals. That's it for me. Thanks so much, Monique. That was great.
Yes. So the whole idea of putting it where it is visible, where you have access to it readily. And also you put it in the form that will appeal to you, not all of us. For me, the pictures work. For some people, it's writing and so on. So whatever form works for you, you do that. And I'll just end by saying, offer yourself grace. If you haven't done consistently what you have there, always go back to it and celebrate those things that you have accomplished in getting there. So Monique, I want to say thanks.
Before you do that, Madam Moderator, you have one other person who wanted to say something. I see a hand up. Herona Thompson.
Go ahead,
Hi.
Herona.
I know I'm coming late, but one thing I found that helped me in the past when I did a vision board is I would split the boards. So I would have 3 quarters with images, and then on 1 quarter side, I'd put kind of like a checklist, things that I want to achieve. So at least I know my progress. So every time I complete one, I can tick it off or I can cross it out so I could see where I am on the board. Mommy also wants to say something. Hold on.
Okay, I wanted to add to sorry, the takeaway in that we're not to beat upon ourselves if the things don't turn out the way you planned or would want it, because things can change as we go along. So always be ready and flexible to make the changes as we see things happening as time goes on. You may not reach the goal of this nice European tour that you were looking, because the funds didn't come in time, but you still have it there. Maybe just move the timeline as you go along. That's one of my takeaways.
And the choice is to either move the timeline or reevaluate and change the destination, So it's always good to be ready to reevaluate your goals and maybe to adjust them accordingly. But mark the progress. That's what I hear Herona saying, that you must make sure you mark your progress as you go along. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming and for sharing. Thank you for your patience and for most of you staying as long as you did. Want to thank the communication team. I want to thank my team, Benita, Vanessa Campbell. Thank you so much for the work you have put into making this webinar a reality. Thanks, Joan, for being available, even though the technology let us down. And at this point, I want to ask Marguerite if she would close in prayer, and I'm gonna ask Brother Gary just to put up again the contact numbers for the life coaching ministry, the contact information for the life coaching ministry. So persons are
Good.
able to see that. I see a black line across it. Right. All right, Sister Marguerite.
Yes, Georgia, I'm here.
Okay.
I want to overemphasize the fact how important the visual of this vision board is. I had a lady come in to me just last week and rented a wedding dress for $85,000 just to take a photograph in it because she wants to get married within the next 6 months. So
Wow.
whatever your goal is, go for it. Put it at somewhere that you can see it on a regular basis. I don't know what her plans were, how she hoped to achieve that goal, but I know it was beneficial to me.
Thanks,
All right.
Margaret, for sharing.
Let us pray. Our gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for this time that we have been able to spend together. We thank you for each one who has participated in this webinar and for all that we have learned. Father, may our goals and desires always be aligned to your purpose for our lives. May we be intentional about realizing these goals and seek you first as we try to achieve them. Be with each of us as we separate and remind us of the things we have heard. Help us to be authentic and focused in perfecting your will here on earth. All of these things we pray through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Have a good evening,
Amen.
everyone.
Good evening, everybody, and have a good evening. And I pray that you
good
will
evening.
leave here with something to start that vision board. Okay? Blessings, everybody.
Good evening.
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 Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.